Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Julian Graham. I'm an independent associate here with Prepaid Legal Services. If you've tuned in any of my other videos, I'm sure you see I mean business. When I talk, I hope you're listening. I don't do this for fun. I do this for sport, and I do this for success. This is not a hobby. This is a habit. So being successful is not something you do sometime. You do it all the time. And I want to give you an example. Brian Carruthers talks about rhino skin. You know what that word means? That means nothing that comes your way will stop you. Not anyone saying I've heard of it, it doesn't work, or not anyone saying I had the membership, it didn't go my way. So what? Over 1.5 million people don't feel the same. You feel what I'm saying, ladies and gentlemen? Over 1,800 law firms don't feel the same. The New York Stock Exchange doesn't feel the same. Ladies and gentlemen, I don't have to convince. All I'm saying is this. Let's stop convincing and let's start presenting. Let me rephrase that. Let's stop convincing and do more presenting. And what that basically means is we don't have to convince people, ladies and gentlemen. We don't have to say what our membership does and what it won't. We don't have to say what our compensation plan does and what it won't. It's about what it does. It's about what it's already doing. You do understand, ladies and gentlemen, Team New Vision is one of the biggest teams, if not the biggest team. I don't want to make a statement if I'm not sure if it's exactly true, but if I'm not mistaken, we are the biggest team in prepaid legal services. And Darnell Self himself heads us, along with several other gentlemen like Brian Carruthers, like Katrina Ferguson, like Mrs. Malott and Mr. Malott, Kevin Mack. I mean, we have some tremendous heavy-hitting leaders here on our team. Take advantage. All I'm saying is this. When you originally got started in this business, you had a vision. You seen something. Your why was as big as it could ever be. Why put water on that fire? Why let those no's slow you down? Let me tell you what a no does for me. When a person says, hey, Mr. Graham, the presentation sounds good, but whatever the case may be, that doesn't bother me. You know what that does? That says, hey, the presentation was fine. Keep in mind, when you become an expert at something, when you really practice your craft, when you really move at a certain speed, nothing can stop you. So when they say no, all you do is say, well, who else is going to say yes? It's just that simple. Don't hang up the phone and say, or get out of that meeting or whatever the case may be where you were doing that presentation and say, you know what, I can't believe they didn't buy my product. I can't believe they didn't join my organization. Why would you do that? Why would you want people to buy your product that don't really want it? You convince them to buy it, they purchased it, then they cancel. What good is the residual income in that? So, an associate, what good is the getting out there, getting their $72 and getting their $35.95 to get started and sending in their membership, knowing the whole time they never were interested? But it's that you were so hyped, they seen the vision in you, now they're not interested. So what? Move forward. Let that person be the person that pushes you to the next person who will be what you thought they were, and let that be your motivation. Never stop pushing, period. I don't care if you do a presentation with 100 people and only nobody buys it. Fine. The presentation was perfect. If you have that many people at your PBR or your presentation, you're doing something right. So if no one buys it, that's okay. But I'll tell you what, that's not going to happen when you're persistent. When you never stop pushing, you never stop succeeding. When you stop pushing based on what someone else said or how they meant something or they didn't see it your way, you lose. I'm going to tell you why you lose. My father shared with me a long time ago. My father calls me Hot Shot. He says, Hot Shot, never let nothing get in your way. Never let nothing bother you. Because when stuff is in your way and when something is bothering you, you can't be as productive and be as successful at whatever it is you were doing if something's on your mind. I'm going to tell you, prime example. If you're getting ready to call me You just got off the line with someone else who you did a fantastic presentation for. They didn't purchase the product, and here you are calling me, giving me half of the excitement, half of the presentation that you would have gave the other person. However, if they would have bought it when you would have called me, I would have got that same presentation. If you don't do that, not only did you not sell the other person the membership, but you probably won't sell the next person that you're going to talk to after them. You've got to stay excited. You've got to stay pumped. You've got to take that no or that yes and move even harder than you were before. I want to give you a quick golden nugget that you cannot leave out. You have to take notes. When you talk to people, when someone talks to you and you do the presentation, you take a note on what they said, how they responded, and you make a note of that. You create yourself a folder, something like this here, ladies and gentlemen. Get you a folder. Make sure when you open it that it has notes. You see that? It's got to have notes. If you don't have notes, you don't know what your business is doing. I'll tell you what. I treat this business like a business. I'm an entrepreneur. I've been involved in business since the age of 18. I don't stop pushing, period. So if you're involved in prepaid legal, treat this 10 times more serious than you have treated your job. Would you go to work tomorrow and give your boss half the effort? Would you? I mean, honestly, answer that question with an honest answer. Because if your answer is yes, I would go to work tomorrow and give my boss half of my all, you get fired. We all know that. If it's a family business, overtime tension will get so high, you'll get fired regardless. So all I'm saying is, don't give your members or your possible prospects being associates half of the presentation. Give them it all. I'll tell you what, when someone tells you no, let that be the fire that makes the next person say yes. Let that be what pushes you when that other person gets on that phone, or when they take a seat beside you, or wherever they are, maybe viewing the information on the internet here. Let that be what pushes you 10 times more than what you would have pushed if the last person would have bought the membership, or even if they did. So, if you don't give your job half your all, don't give your business half your all. So this is what I want you to do. This is my contact number, 240-229-7920. Now, what I want you to do is write that number down. Okay? If you don't call me today, fine. You don't call me tomorrow, fine. Remember this one thing. I'm shooting this video for free. So if an expert shot a video that I could see and said, call me, it's a no-brainer. You call him. So, if you have something better than what I have, call me and share that as well. I am all ears. One thing about being an entrepreneur, one thing about being independent, I've never had a job, ladies and gentlemen. I've never worked for anyone. If you consider a 3-day job a job, I've never had a job. I've never had a job longer than a 2-week span, period. And that's when days that I had to work and versus days that I was off heading into the next week. So, all I'm saying is, if I can do this, nor have I graduated high school. So you know I didn't go to college. So, it's not something you have to be a genius about doing. When you get involved in business, it's exactly like it sounds, business. Let me ask you this. If your boss that you work for, if you still have a job, gave half of his all to you, meaning you worked 40 hours, but he only paid you for 20, would you go to work? No. So, don't be upset. It's okay. I understand success comes in the form it was meant to come in. You can't rush success, people, nor can I. I don't wear the 6-figure ring yet, but I'm almost there. Remember that. You can do the same. Let's push. Okay? I don't care what team you're on. I don't care what organization you're in. If you're in prepaid legal, you're in my family. So I will personally mentor you to wherever it needs to be that you're going in your prepaid legal business. Ladies and gentlemen, it's been fun. Tune into some of my other videos. I've got a ton of information I share with you all. Have a blessed day. Once again, my name is Julian Graham, and I definitely will see you on later videos. Have a fantastic day.